I'm Chief Jeff Halley with the Chatham County Police Department, and wanted to give an update on our two most recent shootings that occurred here in Chatham County over the last 12 hours or within a 12-hour period. The first shooting happened about 1:30 yesterday afternoon on Katama Way in the Hampton subdivision, which is off of Quaco Road. An individual was shot there. Multiple gunshot wounds to the chest. He was transported to Memorial Hospital with life-threatening injuries. He still is alive, which we're very thankful for. The suspect was described as a light-skinned male black wearing all black clothing that fled through the into the Berwick Lakes subdivision. Units made it on scene. Detectives made the scene, interviewed several witnesses in the area, and are actively investigating that incident as we speak. Approximately midnight last night in the Berwick Lakes subdivision, there was a shooting in the 150 block of Berwick Lakes Lane. There was numerous gunshots into that residence. Well over 20 shell casings were located. There was a 17-year-old victim that was hit in the leg. He's has non-life-threatening injuries and is recovering at this moment. We do believe that these incidents are related. That was more than likely a retaliatory shooting from the earlier shooting in the day. We're actively pursuing leads. We're also working with other law enforcement agencies to see if there's any connections to any other shootings that have occurred in other jurisdictions. With that said, I'd be happy to answer a few questions that you may have. We don't believe it's a domestic connection, but just some of the preliminary information and some of the folks we believe that may be involved, there is some gang affiliation.
Savannah police are reporting an uptick in shooting cases there. You said you're talking to other agencies. I would imagine you're talking to them and have made any connections?
We haven't made any firm connections. I mean, we're at the very beginning of this investigation, but we have talked to Savannah PD. Captain Harley from our CID division, along with his detectives, are working with the other investigative agencies and trying to tighten those connections up so we can have a certain level of confidence that they are connected.
Is there any threat to the public?
We don't believe there's any threat to the public. Like I said, these people were known to each other. It wasn't a random act of violence, so there's no threat to the public at this time.
What do you recommend people in those two subdivisions do as they wait until obviously the suspect is caught?
Well, certainly, be vigilant, be aware of your surroundings. Give us a call if you see something amiss or someone that's suspicious in the area, so we can come out and check it out. We've put extra patrols out there today, just trying to be a presence. Certainly, we understand that anytime that happens in a subdivision such like that, a very family-oriented subdivision, anxiety is going to be high. They're going to be nervous, and we want to be out there and try to at least alleviate some of those concerns with our presence, and so we can at least get them back to some level of normalcy.
Did you say the specific ages of the victim?
I believe the victim in the second shooting was 17, and I believe the victim in the first shooting was 22. 22, yes.
Are you releasing male, female, back to the victim?
Yes, ma'am. The victim in the first shooting was a male, a 22-year-old male, and the victim in the second shooting was a 17-year-old male.
My apologies, you said that already.
That's okay.
Talk about, they are so young, 17, 22, gang activity. Talk a little bit about just, it's really in a way tragic as well. It's frightening that they're so young.
Certainly, and certainly with the incident that happened in Savannah earlier in the week with a 13 and 16-year-old, suspect and a victim. I mean, obviously the million-dollar question is how do some of these individuals so young come in possession of firearms and then also feel emboldened to use them to settle disputes? And that's, obviously a growing question or pervasive question across the country, certainly here in Savannah, and it's troublesome. And having kids of my own around that age, and as many others do here in the county, it concerns you. So whatever we can do together collectively number one, as law enforcement here in Chatham County, in connection with the community to help bring this level of violence down and get folks to learn to settle disputes in a different way, we're certainly willing to do it. But it's gone on for too long and too often in this country, and particularly here in Chatham County, and it's saddening because there's so many other victims other than the ones we talked about: families, mothers, brothers, sisters, fathers, friends, and whatnot that are affected by this violence. Neighborhoods that are affected. I'm mindful of when I showed up at the scene yesterday. I got out of my vehicle and there's a young mother who was, watching what was going on. She's got an infant in her arms who's just in diapers, and two little small children that are standing there. And this is what they're watching for the day. They're watching the police show up in their neighborhood, investigating the shooting, and hopefully that isn't normal for them, because they're affected as well. So very concerning to me as not only a law enforcement officer, but a father as well.
Is there any reason to believe the suspect could still be in the general area, or are we thinking he might be somewhere else? You guys know?
We don't know. Like I said, these people we firmly believe are known to each other, but we don't have them positively identified right now, but we don't believe anyone else is at risk. I do not. All right, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah.